The message at Fitzalan High School today was clear. Learn to manage your money from a young age and never borrow from a loan shark. The Wales Illegal Money Lending Unit and the Welsh Government hope that teaching children from 5 to 19 will stop loan sharks preying on them and their families. And they're impressed by how much the children already knew.
It's very important that children from a very young age know about borrowing money, how we do have people, unfortunately, like loan sharks. And it was really interesting to hear the children. They have a very good knowledge of what's going on out there. You know, listening to their answers, that they do seem to have, you know, some of them certainly seem to have an understanding of the dangers of borrowing from the wrong place, if you like. When they were asked where they should borrow from, again, they seem to understand that they should go to banks, they should go to credit unions. I think somebody said parents, which perhaps isn't the right answer, but it was good to see their knowledge. But I'm very much supportive of these sort of schemes and people going into schools and talking to people from a young age.
£20,000 being spent on this campaign targeting 5 to 11-year-olds and 11 to 19.
And so hopefully we will see even more people being aware of the dangers, and hopefully they'll go home and talk to their parents too, because speaking to the head teacher, it's clear that it's the parents that we also want to involve as well as the children.
Obviously recently, since the recession, times have been hard. How big a problem are loan sharks?
I think it is a problem, and certainly the discussions I've been having with credit unions since I came to this portfolio, they seem to think it's a problem. So the more we can do to educate people, and as I say, from a very young age, and hopefully they will go home, discuss it with their parents, and that they too then will pass on that knowledge, and they'll be aware of how they can get much better loans out there.
In some very deprived areas, and it's not Fitzalan at all in that sense. We're launching here today because we've been facilitated by the staff of the school. But in some areas, and we cover the whole of Wales, the children are coming from deprived backgrounds. Their parents will be encountering financial difficulties, and an awful lot of the population are these days, as we all know. And right out on the fringes, some people will be vulnerable and be falling prey to loan sharks. So it's right out at the end of the spectrum, but in some cases the children will be experiencing this. And one of the hopes we have is that children will come home with the messages that we're imparting today, and maybe their parents who, for whatever reason, don't have a good handle on where they can get help, might be encouraged to come forward and seek help from us if they're being ripped off by a loan shark, or by other money advice charities and other sectors that can help them in terms of reordering their financial positions, if you like.
So, as well as educating the children, it's kind of helping to spread the word too, because I guess there are some very vulnerable people out there who might be seen as easy targets by loan sharks.
I think that's true, and not too many of them, thankfully, will be children. But as children turn into teenagers, and particularly older teenagers, where a lot get ideas of grandiose things that they want to buy and can't afford, and would they, if you want the latest iPhone, or heaven forbid, if you want to service some sort of substance dependency and that sort of thing. Very often people will fall into these traps almost without thinking. And of course, once they're there, then the screw gets turned, and it's very difficult to get away from the clutches of these unscrupulous people.
How big a problem is loan sharks and illegal money lending in Cardiff and South Wales at the moment?
It's in pockets, as you might expect. It's more prevalent in the more deprived areas. We've just recently had a prosecution of a family group in Cardiff who had over 400 victims that they were lending money to. They've just been sentenced at Cardiff Crown Court, and one of the people involved was served with a £100,000 proceeds of crime order. And that's the sort of thing that actually goes towards funding the work that we're doing today. It's paid for the production of the packs and the shark suits and everything that you've seen. Public money is short these days, as we all know. But it's a sort of virtuous circle at the end of all of these sad stories, if you like, that we can pump the sort of criminals' money back into imparting these messages into the community.
This campaign will carry on for another 2 weeks. It'll visit more schools across Cardiff.